Hi everybody, just contributing to the great initiative Jason Parkinson has started, giving ideas about where we can see we take the game of bowls in Lancashire at a county, club and social level. So there's been some fantastic pieces coming so far, but I just want to try and share a story. I've lived in Altrincham for about 8 years and I'm currently walking across a farmer's field that I passed countless times and never went over. Sometimes it didn't look that inviting, so I never went in. The farmers cut it. People are starting to walk across it, we're sharing what we see and what we find, and that's got more people taking this route as well. Now, if we'd never used this, and it got turned into houses, what right have we really got to complain? To be fair, this is the state that bowls is in. Not just in Lancashire, not just in the country, but pretty much globally. It's there, we take it for granted. We don't make it look that inviting to come in. We seem to have gone for a jumble sale of the worst greys and colours we could ever pull together. And all of a sudden, there's a barrier there in terms of cost, in terms of perception, in terms of look. Now, this is an absolutely dreadful pandemic at the moment, but this is the golden opportunity for us to make the county more resilient and more sustainable. Because if we carry on as we are, it's very difficult to see us having a county bowls association or even clubs in 10, 15, 20 years time, and that will be a travesty. So my angle on this is to make the game easily accessible. Let's take away the barriers. To do that, and this may sound controversial from a competitive player, I'm not fussed if we don't win another national title for the next 5 years. If we can massively increase the number of people playing bowls to future-proof it in Lancashire in those 5 years. So, how do we do that? A, wherever possible, scrap the dress code. There seems to be some derision about what Crown does, and Crown is by no means perfect. But it's very easy to come up, see people playing and thinking, I could have a go at that. Bowls needs to find that level. So that's partly due to drive, that's partly due to the look of the game and the perception. But we also need to make it more affordable as well. So how do we do that? Well, firstly, we can heavily incentivise subscriptions. If you introduce somebody to play bowls in the first year, they get a heavily discounted subscription rate. And we offer that for 2 years. We don't just want to get people through the door, we need to work harder to engage them in the game and let them get what they want out of it. Because the quicker that happens, the more successfully it happens, the more people they bring like them into the game, the more bodies we have on our membership, the more financially sustainable we are, and ultimately, the more competitive we'll be, which then will lead on to greater county and national success. So, let's think about that closely. What we need to stop thinking about is our clubs as individual clubs. I've talked about the concept of the county as a super club. We can't wait for Bowls England. Bowls England try some good initiatives. We are not their target audience. We need to forget Bowls England. We need to become that poster child for them to learn from us. So how do we do this? We have a clearer view of who our audiences are. In many senses, it's tempting to go straight for juniors, and they are going to be a key part for our medium to long-term future. They are not going to sustain the game in the next 2 to 3 years. We need people coming in who are going to be able to play the game, pick it up quickly, and want to be involved further and bring more people. And typically, they're going to be in our group who are probably 35 plus. Now, they will bring challenges to the game. They may be time sensitive due to work, due to family, as you can see above. So, do we really need to be playing 18 ends, 21 ends? I know lots of people who can't play 11-a-side football due to time pressures, but they go and play 5-a-side football for 1 hour each week and it lasts an hour. Why aren't we using that logic to try and build this into the game in Lancashire? Just because Bowls England don't do it? Not our problem. Our main focus is making Bowls Lancashire sustainable and successful for the medium and long term. So for our retirees, we can almost do more of what we do at the moment, but just because we do it doesn't mean it's perfect. We need more feedback from these audiences to try and make it successful. We need to look at making the game accessible for everyone. There will be people like cricket who love test cricket, who want the 5-dayers. But there will be people who want the 20-over game. And that's where we need to show the flexibility in our approach. We can't just expect the top players to spend more time with the other players because they've got other pressures outside of the game, as well as the pressures the game itself brings in terms of cost, in terms of travel. But those people aren't just one audience below either. There are people who want to play socially, there are people who want to improve, and there are people who want to play a semi-competitive level. We need those voices to be heard. So far, for everything we've done, we've heard from a host of top players. I want to know what the guys who are playing at club level want, and then I want to try and know how we connect those people between clubs to set up more inter-club competitions. What format do you want? What do you want from the game? If we set up something where you play 2 games a night for an hour and a half, and we then put food on afterwards, would you come and play? Would you be able to compete with that maybe once every 2 weeks? Would we be able to do this across clubs, so Southport are as involved as Bolton or as involved as Manchester? This needs to be our mission. Whatever we do for one needs to work for all wherever possible, and that's how we're going to sustain and grow our game. This is the challenge I want to set you in Bowls Lancashire, and I look forward to your feedback.